welcome to the 63rd governor of Kentucky, Governor Andy Beshear.
All right. I want you to take a second. Absolutely. Thank you. Oh, that was really good for my self-esteem. Thank you. Folks, I'm Andy Beshear, and I'm the proud Democratic governor of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. If you don't know me, I'm the guy who's won in deep red Kentucky in 3 consecutive elections. 2 years ago, I beat Mitch McConnell's hand-picked candidates by 5 points. And I've beaten Donald Trump's endorsed candidates twice. For context, Donald Trump won Kentucky the next year by 31 points. So folks, I am living, breathing proof that Democrats can win anywhere, and we should start winning right here in South Carolina. I want to thank you for this invitation tonight to join you at, and I don't know if this has been said, your sold-out Blue Palmetto dinner. Congratulations on tonight. I want to thank Chairwoman Spain for the great job she does, not just for this state, but for the Democratic Party. And my party chair from Kentucky, Coleman Elridge, is here tonight, first African-American to serve as party chair in Kentucky history. Thank you for your work. And I am so proud to be here with the one and only Jim Clyburn. The man so strong that South Carolina Republicans said no thanks to Donald Trump on redistricting. And I want to tell you how impressed I am at your state Democratic House and Senate members who pulled that off. Thank you for your service. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am a proud pro-union governor. I'm a proud pro-diversity governor. I'm a proud pro-choice governor. I'm a proud pro-LGBTQ plus rights governor. And I'm a proud pro 100% public education governor. Now, you're welcome. Now, some people may have told you that a guy that's pro all those things can't win in a place like Kentucky. And they probably told you that they can't win in a place like South Carolina. I don't think I'm saying anything that everyone in this room doesn't feel. That for too long, the National Democratic Party wrote off the South. We felt forgotten, left out, even looked down upon. I'm here to tell you that Southern Democrats are on the march. We are making a comeback. Look at what we've done. We've won back-to-back governor's races in Kentucky. We flipped Virginia's governor's office from red to blue. In North Carolina, we elected a new Democratic governor, and we're about to elect Roy Cooper to the U.S. Senate. And look at what's happened in Georgia, where we have not one, but 2 Democratic U.S. senators, and we're about to flip the governor's seat blue there, too, for the first time in 20 years. I don't know about y'all, but given how I see they govern better, I think it's time for a Democratic governor again in South Carolina. Let's give Governor Hodges some company. And that's what democracy looks like. I'll admit, as I travel around the country, I always get the same question. And it's really just one word. People look at me and say, how? How do you win in Kentucky in a place that Donald Trump won by 31 points? Listen, folks, we win by staying true to our values of compassion, of empathy, and of doing right by our neighbors. And we win by focusing on people's daily, most pressing needs. Democrats have been outperforming everywhere, and we've been doing so with a relentless focus on lowering costs and making people's lives just a little bit better. And in doing so, we are sending a strong message to Donald Trump, and I know we're going to do it again when we flip the U.S. House of Representatives this November and make a strong run at the U.S. Senate. And then we're going to show them what happens when Democrats win. We do what Republicans can't. We govern well. We govern well because we're focused on important issues like access to health care, child care, lowering energy costs, and making sure everyone can afford a place to live. We're going to keep winning because we have to. I will not leave a broken country to my kids or anyone else's. To win, we have to talk to people and not at them. And we have to connect with their daily lives. That's how I've won counties in eastern Kentucky that normally vote for Republicans by large margins, like Breathitt County. That's the county J.D. Vance pretends he's from. Donald Trump won that county by 59 points. I won it by 22 the year before. So I know that we can win in tough areas when we lead with what's important to us. My faith teaches me to do what's right for every Kentuckian, whether they always vote for me or never vote for me, to treat them with respect as people who just want the chance to live a good life, do right by their neighbors and their communities. Democrats have to be the party seen addressing America's everyday issues. I do this by following what I call the 80-100 rule. Listen, I stand up for all of my convictions, but I believe in spending 80% of my time on things that matter to 100% of the families of Kentucky and the United States of America. I get that everyone in this sold-out room, and that sounds so good to say again, I know we're focused in on the daily news cycle, but most Americans just aren't as partisan as we think they are. When most Americans wake up in the morning, they're not thinking about that next race. They're thinking about their job and whether they can afford to raise their family. They're thinking about the next doctor's appointment for themselves, their parents, or their kids. They're thinking about the roads and bridges they drive, the school they drop their kids off at, and whether they feel safe in their community. We win when we move the needle on those things that lift everyone up and leave no one out. Let me give you an example. When I first ran for governor in 2019, I just barely won this county called Henderson. Henderson's in western Kentucky. It's a former coal mining county. It had been blue, but was moving red as fast as we had seen, and I was sure that was the last time a Democrat would win it. But since that win, I opened the country's cleanest, greenest paper mill in Henderson, Kentucky, 350 jobs paying $40 an hour for those workers. Now, I'm the first governor that's ever said the following. I'm the first Kentucky governor that's ever said the following: climate change is real. Because it is. But the talk of climate justice came along before the talk of economic justice. That when we saw the energy economy shift and those jobs move from a place like Kentucky where people were supporting multiple families to somewhere else, people felt left behind. Then they were told what they did didn't matter or was somehow wrong. Instead of this dismissal, people saw that my administration was showing up over and over again with a relentless drive to make their community thrive. And in 2023, I won Henderson by 3 times the number of votes as in 2019. That's how we win in places that have been increasingly slipping away. Because I wasn't showing up to announce red jobs or blue jobs. Actually, I was showing up to announce green jobs in a former coal mining town. And I'll never forget, the owner who was in Australia had zoomed in. I think it was pretty late in Australia. And he said the one thing I told him not to say. He said, we're creating 350 green jobs. And you know what people did? They gave him a standing ovation. They paid $40 an hour to members of that community. People saw that we cared, that we were willing to do the work, that we wanted a good life for them because they were just as important as every other family in our state that they knew that we wanted them to be able to take their kids on the same vacation that they grew up going on. In other words, folks, we have to revive the belief in the American dream that has slipped away for far too many. Since I've been governor, Kentucky's been through the ringer. We've been hit by 15 federally declared natural disasters. Tornadoes in the east, floods in the east, storms all across our state. Let me tell you how a Democratic governor rebuilds. In eastern Kentucky, we're moving people from the hollers, those are the valleys, on top of former coal mines where it will never flood. We are running the most advanced infrastructure up there, and we are building affordable housing with solar panels on the roof to where the average utility bill will be $50 a month. Sure. So if you question where we can win, solar panels on affordable houses built on former coal mines done by a Democratic governor in the South, don't tell me anything is impossible. We can move the needle and get big things done. Let me tell you something else that's very clear to all of us here tonight. The Trump economy is a colossal failure. Americans have paid 90% of all his tariffs. All he has done is tax us, and tax us unlawfully. His war with Iran, which he and he alone started, has skyrocketed the price of gas and diesel, making everything more expensive. Every good we ship costs more. He won't reduce the price of housing, saying if you can't afford a home, you're not working hard enough. And if your family is struggling, he's telling you your kids have too many toys. Tell that to the teachers, the firefighters, the nurses, and the electricians getting priced out of the American dream. 2026 is one of those can't miss moments, and I'm here to tell you I am all in. I am fully committed to doing everything I can to winning all over the United States of America. And this is our chance. This is our chance to start repairing and expanding that Democratic brand. And folks, speaking of that brand, we simply must be a party that more Americans want to join. And the language we use is a big part of that. Put a different way, we've got to get back to talking like normal human beings. We need our language to reflect what we feel in our bones, the passion that we have for improving Americans' lives. And what's happened is advocacy speak, which had the right meaning. It was to reduce stigma, but you don't reduce stigma by changing words, you reduce it by changing hearts. It crept into our language, making it sound like we were talking down to people, like we were lecturing them. Let me give you an example. In Kentucky, we were hit by the opioid epidemic harder than just about anywhere, and I know you were too. If you're a Kentuckian, you've lost multiple people you love and care about to an overdose. I didn't lose one to substance use disorder. I lost them all to addiction. You hear it, can't you feel it? It's that mean, nasty killer that takes people from us. Or when you're in recovery, when you've gone up against and beaten that toughest of opponents, you deserve credit for that battle that you just fought. Let me give you another one, which our congressman here valiantly fought against. Donald Trump's big, ugly bill, which is not only going to devastate rural health care, it is going to take food off the table of desperate Americans that need it. When we flip the House so that these two gentlemen can undo that big, ugly bill, we're not going to do it by saying too many Americans are going to be food insecure, right? We're going to do it by saying that children can't concentrate at school. Why? Because they're hungry. That seniors can't sleep at night. Why? Because they're hungry. The language we use is our ability to connect to people. I'll tell you one of the most recent ones that I've been told I'm supposed to use. It's called justice involved population. Anybody? That's how I looked when I first heard it. Those are our inmates. And let me start by saying I believe in second chances. The Bible tells me it's not just the right thing to do, it's what we're called to do. In Kentucky, we are now teaching a skilled trade from our unions in every single one of our prisons and putting people to work as they leave. We have a decade low recidivism, meaning crimes are never occurring. There's no victim, no traumatized family. But you know what our inmates still call themselves? Inmates. We can't say we're going to meet people where they are and not actually do it. And this brings me to the most important point. As Democrats, we are big on our policy, aren't we? And we all know them. We're people of substance, and we ought to be proud of that. But sometimes we know it a little too much. We know policy point 3, sub point 4, bullet point 2, I underneath. We talk about the what all the time. It's time we start talking about the why. Why do we believe what we believe? What's that burning thing that has you in the room tonight willing to stand up for Democrats in the South? For me, it's my family and my faith, and it guides everything I do as governor. As governor, I've now restored voting rights to over 200,000 Kentuckians that can be a part of our great democracy. My why is everyone deserves that second chance. And listen, I know that I will never be able to feel the ever-present weight of systematic racism, inequality, and injustice. But I know it exists, and I can listen. I can try to hear, and I can act. That's why in Kentucky, I was the governor that removed the statue of Jefferson Davis from our Capitol Rotunda. Why? Because a glaring symbol of bigotry and division doesn't belong in any capital, in any state in this country. It's this current administration that wants you to believe that diversity is a dirty word. They want people to believe that equity means someone isn't worthy of opportunity. They want to rewrite the hard-earned truths of our history. We can't let them. By executive order, I made Juneteenth an executive branch holiday because my General Assembly wouldn't do it. Why? Because it was the right thing to do. Because in Kentucky, we will always see diversity as an asset and never a liability, and it was far too long coming. But the same day, I signed another executive order based on the Crown Act so that no state employee would ever be discriminated for their hairstyle. We opened the first new hospital in West Louisville, our largest African-American community, in 150 years, just last year. Why? Because it saw 60,000 patients in its first 12 months. It has the only 24-hour pharmacy in the community. It is providing services that people used to have to drive 40 minutes or take multiple buses to get to. As governor, I have vetoed 4 anti-choice bills, including one of the most extreme pieces of anti-choice legislation in the country. Why? Because I think women should be able to make their own health care decisions. I recently issued an executive order banning the so-called practice of conversion therapy, a cruel practice that is killing some of our kids. Why? Because it's torture and it's wrong. I vetoed every single piece of anti-LGBT legislation that has ever come to my desk as governor of Kentucky. And that includes the nastiest piece we had ever seen during my re-election. They even said out loud, this is what's going to be Andy Beshear. And you know what I did? I vetoed it anyways, because there are some things that are worth losing over. But I explained my why. So I went in front of the cameras that night because voters, whether they agreed with me or disagreed, deserve to know. And I said, my faith teaches me that all children are children of God. And I don't want people picking on those kids. If my General Assembly was going to show them hate, I was going to show them love. If they were going to show them rejection, I was going to show them acceptance. And I'll never forget the next day I was opening up a factory, because the next day we always have to be opening up a factory. That's the 8100 rule in action. And a guy in a trucker hat makes a beeline towards me. And I've told this story before to many of you, and I thought, oh no, I've been here before. But he gets up to me and he sticks out his hand and he says, Governor, I'm not sure I agree with what you did yesterday, but I know you're doing what you think is right. He patted me on the back, said, I support you, and walked away. When we explain our why, when you use a common language of faith or values, it gives grace and space for people to disagree with us on some issues, but still understand we are the party with the candidates that will truly move their lives forward. Kentuckians knew that whether they agreed or disagreed that day before, the next day I'd be doing something that we all agree on, moving our state forward for all of us. That's the deal I've made with Kentuckians, and that's the deal the Democratic Party needs to make with Americans. I know that this is the path back for the Democratic Party. Focus, talk normal, and lead with our why.
Yeah.
Look, I don't have to tell you how bleak things are right now. Donald Trump is tearing apart democratic norms, gutting our social safety net, weaponizing the National Guard, using ICE to terrorize communities, fraying our international alliances, decimating our intelligence community and our public health expertise. He is waging new wars that risk American lives. The Voting Rights Act has been gutted, and we're seeing a deliberate attempt to undermine black voting power. What's happening right now is shameful, especially in parts of the South. In Virginia, the will of the people who voted for new maps was stopped by the courts. Meanwhile, black Americans in places like Louisiana and Tennessee are being forced into new districts designed to reduce the diversity of Congress. Let me say this clearly as a Southern governor. It is wrong, and we must fight back. And you, South Carolina, have given us the roadmap. People showed up in record numbers on the first day of early voting. Representative Clyburn will continue to fight for the people of South Carolina when he is reelected to another term. And while all this is painful that we're seeing from the Trump administration, it is providing us a huge opportunity for Democrats to go out and regain the trust of the American people, to be the party of common sense, common ground, and getting things done. Democrats can win again by taking back the middle, and it is there for the taking. Let's show up. Let's get dirt on our boots, and let's govern well. That's how we rebuild the confidence of the American people. So let me say, I'm happy to be here, but I greatly appreciate each and every person that is in this room fighting. You're here because you know that we can win, and we have to do the work to win back this country. In the end, for me, this all comes down to my faith in that golden rule that says I love my neighbor as myself, and the parable of the Good Samaritan that says everyone is my neighbor. Our job is to get this country back to being neighbors.
Yeah.
I'm here tonight as proof that when Democrats put people first and stand firm on our values, we can and will win elections again. Who Donald Trump is trying to make America ain't who we are. This country deserves better, and so does South Carolina. South Carolina deserves the re-election of Jim Clyburn. South Carolina deserves a Democratic governor. South Carolina deserves more democratically elected officials. South Carolina deserves the defeat of Lindsey Graham in the U.S. Senate. So are you ready to do the work to rebuild? Are you ready to knock the doors? Are you ready to turn out the vote? Are you ready to elect the right people? Are you ready to retake the U.S. House of Representatives? Are you ready to make a run at the U.S. Senate? And then are you ready as South Carolina to eventually elect a Democratic president in 2028? Let's do the work. Thank you, South Carolina.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I didn't move your volume.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Wasn't that great?